Hi, welcome to another LAD crochet tutorial video. Today we'll be making this beginner-friendly crochet butterfly. For materials, you're going to need 1 or 2 colors of yarn, scissors, and a 3.5mm hook. Anything around there will also work. Now we'll start by pulling our yarn over our palm and wrapping it around our pointer finger twice. Now we'll be grabbing our hook and placing it underneath those first 2 lines of yarn on our pointer finger, and then grabbing that 3rd line of yarn and pulling it underneath those 2. Then we'll have this loop around our hook. And now you'll want to grab that continuous line of yarn and pull it underneath that first loop we have to chain 1. And now we can pull our magic ring off our finger. And here I'm just adjusting it as I like. So now that we have it ready, we'll be chaining 4. So yarning over and pulling underneath our first loop, yarning over, 2nd chain, yarning over, making our 3rd chain, and then yarning over, pulling it through, making it our 4th chain. So now we'll be making something called a triple crochet. You'll want to wrap your yarn around your hook twice, so now you'll have these 3 loops around your hook. Then you'll put your hook in the center of your circle and then yarn over, bringing back another loop of yarn. Now you have 4 loops on your hook. You're going to want to yarn over and pull it through those first 2 loops. Once you've done that, you'll have 3 loops on your chain, and then yarn over again and bring it through the next 2 loops. Once you have done that, you're gonna yarn over again and bring it through your last 2 loops, and that is a triple crochet. Now here we'll be chaining 3, so 1, 2, and 3. For our next step, I think visually looking at what I do is easier than when I'm going to explain. Since we'll be placing our hook in between the 2 stitches that connect to our 3 chains. This is the close-up of what I just did in the last step. I took my hook and put it in between the chains or stitches that connect to our 3 chains, so just like that. And our next step will be to yarn over and pull that through, and then yarn over again, and that will close off that little bit. Here I'm just following up from the last steps we did, closing up that little bit. Now after that, we will continue making our triple crochets. So here we'll just wrap our yarn twice around our hook, and then going into the center of our circle, yarning over, bringing that back, and then yarning over again and pulling that through our first 2 loops, yarning over again, pulling that through our next 2 loops, yarning over and pulling it through our last 2 loops. And we'll do that one more time. So right now in the video, I'm doing my last triple crochet. So after this step, we should have finished our first 4 chains, our first triple crochet with our 3 chains connected, and then our last 2 triple crochets. So now we will continue making 4 chains to finish off this first half of the first wing. After we chained 4, we'll put our hook back in the center of the circle, yarn over, and then yarn over again and pull that through our 2 loops. Here I'm just adjusting what we have crocheted on our magic ring. And now we'll pick up on the second part of our first wing. So we'll want to chain 2, so 1, 2. So now we'll make a double crochet, so yarn over your hook once, put that in the center of a circle, yarn over again and bring that up, yarn over again and put that through our first 2 loops, and then yarn over again and put that through our last 2 loops. Here we're making 1 more double crochet, same step as our last. And now we'll be chaining 2. So 1 and 2. So now we'll be placing our hook in our center of our circle, yarning over again, and placing it through our 2 loops. Now that that's done, we have finished our first wing of our butterfly. Now as we continue to do our second wing, we will be sort of mirroring our first wing. So we'll start with sort of that short end. So we'll be chaining 2 and then making a double crochet. So same stuff that we did on our first wing. This is my first double crochet. And here is me doing the second double crochet. And after my 2 double crochets, I'm chaining 2 again. And finishing this part, we put our hook in the center of a circle, yarning over, then yarning over again, and pulling it through our 2 loops. Now, since we're doing the bigger portion of the wing backwards than how we did it the first time, it will appear a bit different. So we'll do our 4 chains. As we finish up our 4 chains, we'll be making a triple crochet again. So wrap your yarn twice over your hook, place it in the center of a circle, yarn over and bring that back, yarn over again, pull through the first 2 loops, yarn over again, and pull that through the next 2 loops, yarn over again, and pull that through your last 2 loops. So here I am making my second triple crochet. And afterwards, you'll want to pause because this is where we'll be chaining 3. So here I'm doing my 3 chains, and afterwards we'll be placing our hook in the in-between of our 3 chains. So once you've done that, you'll yarn over again and pull that through, and then we'll yarn over once more and pull that through. Now that we've done that, we'll be making 1 more triple crochet. Here I'm making that 3rd triple crochet, and after we have finished this triple crochet, we will be chaining 4. So here I am just chaining 4 after we have finished our 3rd triple crochet. And we'll close that off by putting our hook in the center of a circle, yarning over, then yarning over once more, and pulling that through our 2 loops. So here we're adjusting to open our circle a bit more. We're doing this to see the 2 yarns that are our circle, and on that most inner yarn, you'll want to pull on that to close that 2nd yarn. So once you've done that, you should have closed your first circle. So this is to tighten and pull our butterfly together. Now that you've done your first circle, pull on that shortest string that we still have, and that will close that 2nd string left over. Now we have fully tightened our butterfly together. Now with the continuous line of yarn around our hook, we'll want to pull on that and cut off a piece long enough to tighten our butterfly together. So here with our 2 remaining strings, I will make a double knot. So here I'm just showing you quickly that I'm making a double knot. And with the 2 remaining strings we have, I get them together and pull them around our butterfly to make the antennas. So I'll lay them aside like that, grab our hook, put them around and pull them under the first loop we made there. And with that, I make another double knot to secure it. And here I'm making those two antennas even. But of course, you can always make the body and the antennas a different color. So here I'm just showing an example of using a different color yarn, and I fold it together and wrap it around our butterfly. Then you'll put those two ends through that loop and then tighten it. And then here I'm just making a double knot just as before. And then cutting the antennas to the length that I want. Now you have these cute crocheted butterflies ready to send.